So hello and welcome. My name is Paula Robbins and I am the founder of Consciouspreneurs International. And I'm here today with my good friend and my own personal accountant, Michelle Leuvane of Synergy CPA. So I'm so glad that you agreed to do this interview with me because I've so struggled with bookkeeping and accounting. So to have found you a few years ago and to have had so many things kind of come together in a much better way for me as far as accounting and bookkeeping and tax, and with somebody who understands consciousness and spirituality. So thank you again for doing this. I'm so grateful to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, of course. So tell us a little bit about you. For those who are watching and listening, they, I know, struggle with the idea of how do you, kind of balance and marry this consciousness and business, especially bookkeeping and tax. So tell them a little bit about your background, who you are, how you got into your field, and how you work.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much. So I'm born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, and I've been here in Denver, Colorado now for 20 years next month, actually. And it's definitely been a wonderful road to get here. I've been in public practice now for over 16 years. Crazy, it's been so long. My specialization, is in real estate and small business tax strategy planning, which is why I also have a real estate license. And my mission is to bring the high-end tax reduction strategies to smaller business owners who want to keep more of the money that they make and not give it to the government in the form of tax and never see it again. And so I do have a belief in something bigger than me, and I feel that it's my honor and privilege that I can share some of this great knowledge with others and help other people be, better business owners and be successful.
I completely agree. And, I know that you've served other businesses like mine. I'm a metaphysician, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm an intuitive business coach. I know you've worked with other people who've got kind of a consciousness or spiritual based business or offering. Do you work with a lot of people like that? How's that gone?
I do. I've worked with many spiritual and conscious-based businesses, and it's certainly rewarding that I can see them and share their message and help them share their message and help impact the lives of others. And there's so much more to it that, it just brings a lot of pleasure to what I do. And tax is intimidating. So, helping people, tax is intimidating. So helping people take some of the fear away helps them to focus more on what they do, and they're more successful for it.
Well, and that kind of is a great segue into my next question. So as a consciouspreneur, as somebody who's, walked a business of consciousness, what is some advice that you would offer? You've given me great advice. So I want to, overall, if you talk with other people who are smaller businesses like my own, and we have an offering that's typically smaller. I work with people one-on-one. I do some, online business courses. But what is some advice you would give to the smaller business owner like myself?
Wow. There's a lot of advice that I can give. I think one of the important features is, great bookkeeping. So, keeping your compliance in order, because once you have that order and you start having a rhythm, then some of it starts to take some of that intimidation away, and you're able to focus more on your message than the behind the scenes and making your business run. Things start to run more smoothly. I think that's a pretty big, important piece for, consciouspreneurs who is looking for specific advice for their business, and just being successful is having that awareness of what should I be doing and how should I be doing it, and then taking it the step further and implementing those changes and getting on a schedule that they become more consistent with what they're doing. And it takes away the fear, and it makes things run more smoothly, and they're able to, build their businesses and be successful.
Yeah. And that's the advice you gave me. I still struggle with the consistency part. And I know I'm not alone in that, in the consciouspreneur business owner mindset, but I'm more consistent. And year over year, my tax returns have become so much easier because I know what to expect. the ideal of moving, from a sole proprietor to an LLC to an S Corp is something that's a big decision for a lot of business owners. And
Mhm.
you really simplified that for me, that has made a huge difference for me in not only running a more simplified business, but in, what is my return going to look like every year? It's saved me thousands of dollars. So
Yeah. Yeah.
great.
Little subtle changes in what you're doing can have a dramatic impact on your life. And as I was saying in the beginning, what business owner's dream isn't to put more money into their pocket and not give it to the government in the form of tax and never see it again. And in
Right.
reality, if you understand the tax laws and the code as they're written, there are legal and legitimate ways that you can do that small business owners a lot of times and consciouspreneurs are not getting that information. They don't know of some of these easy to implement changes that can dramatically change their lives and their businesses. And that's one of the reasons I do what I do is I can give back and I can share some of that information so people can be more successful. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and you've been really heartfelt in how you've approached all of my queries and questions, and that's why I really wanted the people who follow my interviews to get to know you and learn that there are ways to truly consciously manage your taxes and your books, you know. So one of the things I know that's on everybody's mind right now, of course, is pandemic and COVID and coronavirus. Is there any particular tips or advice that you would recommend people pay attention to now? Because I know that it created tons of changes for me in my business in the last couple of months. Anything on that you'd like to contribute?
Well, the fun part about our busy season this year is that there were a lot of tax changes. And with those tax changes came some great benefits and then maybe some not so good benefits. But understanding what those changes were and how they impact you definitely make a difference. And so one of the things that we're seeing more of our clients doing is actually managing their expenses and dropping unnecessary expenses and running more lean and running more consistent. And
Sure.
so what does that really mean? They're focusing more on video marketing, more on social media. In some effects, they're finding that this is a more realistic way of doing business and more efficient way of doing business via video, for example, than
Yeah.
it is going out and meeting new clients or making these relationships. It's a new way of doing business. So from a tax perspective, we're seeing some of the tax code, soften up a little bit for tax, business owners. It's going to give them a little bit more of a boost in the tax sense. But at the same time, we're seeing businesses in general start to shift. I know a lot of people want to see it go back to the way it was, but the reality is that this is where the world is going. You think about the Jetsons and what you saw on that's exactly what's happening and where we're going. And so we're seeing this shift in the way people do business. And some of it is leaning in, reducing expenses, but a lot of it is finding more efficient ways of doing business. And video is a fantastic way of doing it.
I agree. I've been working over video one-on-one with people since 2009, and I now my business mix, my business was certainly impacted because I also work with people locally one-on-one, but to have this already in place and established, to know that I work with people face-to-face over Zoom or Skype or, even some other platforms. Technology is something that I think people are having to find more acceptance with and more utilization of, because it is just like you said, the Jetsons. This is an era that this became very feasible. It says you can still do business, you can still grow your message, you can still serve in a beautiful way, and you're going to have to use technology to do that.
And you can impact more people this way too.
Oh, that's been probably my biggest reason for moving into it back in 2009 is we really did. My one arm of my business, the network, we've worked now in over 36 countries. So it's really
That's
been
amazing.
just
That's
amazing.
quite an outreach.
Right. Well, since 2009, we're not in 36 countries today, but
Yeah.
it certainly has been a way to work globally and serve people in a really big way with a great offering,
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. It's about the message.
yeah.
Give a
And do
great
you work with
message.
people outside of Colorado?
I do. I have some extensive training, and so I'm multi-state tax compliant. So I do generally stay within the United States. I'm not an international tax accountant, but if somebody has that need or that outreach, then we can certainly provide resources so they can take advantage of that. But
Right.
we do stay up to date on what's happening, not just here, but in Colorado, but certainly other states as well. And we can file returns and we can help people start businesses in other states if that's what they want to do.
That's great. So you're here in Centennial, Colorado also. And how big is your team? It's you and a few others. And
Yeah.
you do bookkeeping, you do tax. What all do you
So
guys do?
So we do tax planning, which is tax strategization, utilizing the tax laws to business owners' benefit. Tax compliance, which is your traditional, I need to file my tax return, I need to do some bookkeeping and some payroll. And we also do real estate representation. And especially if you're looking for a space for your business, so commercial space,
Mhm.
or if you're looking for an investment opportunity, we can help set up a buyer or seller or investor services. And so we've kind of married that passion for helping others with sort of our strengths to be able to offer business owners and individuals a way of building wealth and providing the services necessary to be successful.
That's great. That's great. So tell everybody who's watching and or listening, how do they find you? How do they get a hold of you, and what would be the best way to connect? So if they wanted to engage your services.
Sure. So the best way to reach us is you can reach us via our website. It's www.synergycpadenver.com. You can also reach us at 303-335-9692 or catch us on Facebook, social media, Facebook. Synergy CPA Group is our Facebook page. We would love to connect, and we always offer a free consultation, especially if you just have a simple question or if you want to see if your accountant is providing all the services and all the benefits that you should be entitled to. We're happy to sit down and go through that with everyone.
Great. And I'll make sure that that is included. When I post the interview and share this information, I'll have your website, I'll have your phone number, I'll have your Facebook group. All of that will be included, not only in this video, but in the information that I share on the social media channels and things like that, because I know that not only have you saved me thousands of dollars and taught me a lot. I understand so much more about my role in working with my CPA, with my tax accountant, but you're very, very reasonably priced. So I think that there's so much to be said for the work that you do, the way that you are, serving the greater good by helping, the small business person out with our strategy and with our planning and making sure that we kind of have things aligned. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
just so, so grateful for you.
Well, I appreciate that very, very much. And as a small business owner myself, I have a better understanding of that particular niche, if you will. And so it's my goal to be more reasonably priced. I can be a great tax accountant and then, but I'm not going to specialize in small business owners if my fees are out of that range. I have to understand that market and understand what you need and how to implement it. And that
Right.
is my area of expertise. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. More than you know. I've been in business for almost 13 years as a small business owner, and you're my, I think, fifth bookkeeper. And I'm keeping you. But I
Oh,
wanted
good.
to share you and share of you and let other people know that, there are great people out there who are consciousness minded, who have good spirit, who care about, serving, and marry it with tax and bookkeeping and accounting.
And make it fun and less intimidating.
Yeah, yeah, you've got the best personality for this work for sure.
I must, right? I have a master's degree in tax, so I must like it or something.
True, true. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, thank you again. It was just such a pleasure to visit with you and to have you and to share what you do and who you are with others. So thanks again for your time. And thanks everybody for watching. Again, I'm Paula Robbins with Consciouspreneurs International, and we've got Michelle Leuvane with SynergyCPAdenver.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course.